Good evening. Welcome back to my little gardening show. Wanted to take you guys along tonight as I'm starting my seeds finally. We prepped the two trays, the mid-ladder grow trays that I've got. Got them with the grow mix and the worm castings and all that. But what I've decided I'm going to do first is actually start the seeds or sprout the seeds in wet paper towels within Zip Loc bags. And so I wanted to take you along as I'm getting ready to start that process here. So there's a couple advantages to starting seeds this way. One, you're not wasting space in the grow trays here, putting your seeds in, covering them, and seeing which ones sprout, and having to kind of reposition stuff. This method's a little more efficient in that you can put quite a few seeds down, and then once they sprout, you can kind of take a look and pick out the best ones and the most promising ones that seem to be the most vigorous and start them directly into the trays in. In other words, everything you move from there, for the most part, into the trays are going to be guaranteed to grow because they've already sprouted and they're looking pretty good. So I've just got this is like cheapy paper towels, generic brand, whatever. Got my 2-gallon sprayer, which that really comes in handy since I don't have water plumbed into the grow room here. What I'm going to do is I'm going to wet this down pretty good. It's nice and moist. First one we're going to do is some seeds from the MI Gardener, this Danish ballhead cabbage. What we're going to do is just sprinkle the seeds on the wet paper towel and then fold it over once. And then I'm going to seal it in a Ziploc bag. We're going to label it. So we'll get this one going first. Now, one thing about the cruciferous vegetables or the brassicas is that the seeds all look the same for the most part. And the seeds tend to be cheaper than like the peppers and the tomatoes, the high dollar vegetables that are a lot more popular. Vegetables like these that maybe aren't as popular. These packets, well, in my gardener, he sells his for $1 a packet, so pretty good deal there, but most places about $2 a packet and 300 to 400 seeds. So what I'm going to do is just kind of sprinkle these on the paper towel here, and we can kind of spread them out a little bit. Just fold it over once, kind of press it down so there's good contact and all that. And then we'll put it in our Ziploc bag. Now for the Ziploc bags, I'm just using some cheapy ones from a store called Aldi's. We can either label the bag, or if you want to be really thrifty and reuse them, you can get a roll of this painter's tape and just, write in what you're growing and just tape it on here, and then that way you can reuse the bag to sprout other stuff. So that's probably what we're going to do tonight on these, since we'll probably redo this or reuse the same bags for our tomatoes and peppers. So I've got it labeled, I've got the date that we're starting these, and now we're going to put the seeds in the bag. Now sealing them in the bag like that, it's like a mini greenhouse. Really, for seeds to sprout, all they need is moisture and heat. If the temperature's right and there's moisture, the seeds will sprout. They don't need light or anything like that. Once they do sprout and the leaves are there, then it's important for them to get light, to start the photosynthesis and all that. And then once they have their true leaves, which is the second set of actual leaves that come after the seed leaves, the first two seed leaves, that's when you need to make sure that they have nutrition. Like you're either using a foliar spray, or you've got the bedding that you're sprouting them in has got worm castings, or it's regular soil, whatever. They need nutrients at that point to keep growing. But to start them initially, it's just heat and it's just moisture. About 75 degrees. The warmer it is, 75, 80 degrees, the faster the process. It'll probably be about 70 degrees, 75 degrees here once we get everything going. Once I get all my bags sealed up like this, labeled, seeds, all that, I'll put the seeds in a warm, dark place. 3 days later, we'll check them. Everything should be pretty well sprouted, and then we'll select which ones we want to put into the trays. So we'll go ahead and make up another bag just for the fun of it here. We're going to try 2 different types of kale this year. Hopefully we'll eat more kale. It's really good for you. We've been picking up the kale and cranberry salads from the store, so hopefully we can make some of our own with this. I've never had the red Russian kale, or I've never grown it anyway. This, it says it's a cabbage, but it's actually, I think it's a cross between a kale and cabbage. They call it dinosaur kale or black palm or Nero di Toscana dinosaur kale. But this is a really nice variety. Pretty good flavor. Pretty compact. So we'll go ahead and start some of that. Again, we get our paper towel. We're going to wet it down. Real good. Now we're going to get our seeds out. Again, we can be kind of liberal here. I mean, I've got probably at least 50 seeds, if not a little bit more. And spread those out. You know what's amazing? You think about how awesome nature is, and this tiny little seed is everything there to produce something like that. A plant that's going to be about 3 foot tall and produce all season long. All in that little thing there. It's pretty awesome. Definitely, I don't know. Fold that over. We'll tuck that in our labeled bag here. Alright, and easy as pie. We got another one all bagged up and ready to go. So now we've got our bags of seeds. I've got about 6 bags here. We're going to put these in a nice warm place, dark place upstairs. The grow room here, it's about 55 degrees. It really needs to be warmer than that. The other thing I could do if I wanted to is I could move these trays out, and I could go ahead and fire up this grow mat to get the temperature up to where we want it. And maybe that's what I'll do, just to make sure things sprout and we got the right temperature. So I've got my grow mat plugged in. Currently it's registering 59.5 degrees. And that's with the little probe here. That's what that's measuring. If I put my fingers on that, you can see it's going up. So the probe's pretty accurate. I think I've got it set at, well, what do we have it set at? It's set at 72. We'll put that at 77. So now it's set. It's going to continue to stay on until it hits 77, and it will turn off, and it will maintain that temperature. So I got a 1020 tray here. We're just going to lay the bags in here. I'll put the probe underneath the one bag so it will measure. Then that way the heat, there's a little bit of a buffer for the heat there then. But I'll put the probe between the tray and the bag there, just so it's consistent. And like I said, in 3 days we should have some sprouted seeds. So there you have it. Since it is pretty cold down here, I decided to put a little towel over my seed packets. just to insulate them a bit, to help keep heat in, so that as this mat heats up and then heat filters up through this tray and heats us up, that they'll stay somewhat warm in there. So we'll check on these in a couple days and just see what we got. Hopefully we'll have some sprouts and we can move things to the trays to start growing some plants. So there you have it. It's really not that difficult to start seeds. There's several different ways you can go about doing it. This is just one of the ways. So I want to encourage you guys to maybe give it a try. If you have any questions, feel free to reach out. Other than that, I guess that's it for now. Until next time, happy gardening.